Hi everyone. So today's Friday, day 27 of Inktober challenge, and today's prompt is climb. So I'm going to go slightly back in terms of what I was doing. If you remember, I'll just show you quickly. A while ago, I started using this idea of little figures. And so today I'm going to go back to that because that will help me a lot to illustrate this prompt. And she's going to be a bit of a giant today, and I'm going to have these figures kind of run towards her and then start climbing up on her. So yeah, let's go ahead. I decided to do a voiceover because it's been such a quick illustration that I wanted to leave it in real time. So as per usual, I'll start with the face and the hair, just giving the face a shape, and then moving on to the body. I'm quite happy here with how the body came out, keeping in mind I'm not using any pencils or anything like that, so whatever I do from the first go, that remains. So here was a lucky body shape, a super thin neck, which I really like how it looks, and I wanted her to kind of have her head look down onto those figures that will be running towards her. So here I'm doing the face, and the eyes will have to look down as well. So she will see those figures, and this is probably one of my favorite illustrations. It came out really well. I do like how she came out. She's sort of very gentle, very delicate. Here are my famous and beloved super long double lashes. And sorry, here is a little bit off camera and I will move it up here. So here are the figures, and I'm just trying to kind of place the figures in such a way that they're kind of running from somewhere into one direction, and with their hands going towards her. And I'm trying to illustrate them so that they're not in one straight line but look a little bit more organic. Here I'm moving closer to her because I will need to make those figures climb up her, so they will help one another by supporting, and then sort of they'll climb from each other's shoulders up onto her. That's the idea. And so here's one already making his move, and another one, and another one, and the final one will sit on her shoulder. So he got to the top, and that is it. I might add another one just in a second to fill that gap. I was considering to put an earring there, and then I thought that would be a little bit too busy, so I left it. And here we go. So just filling that little gap over there. Trying to think whether she needs anything else. And here I'm starting to create shadows underneath those figures, which makes it then quite nice and realistic, because otherwise they're just sort of floating in the air, and a little bit of shadowing here and there helps it. And then I'm starting the shadowing on her body. So the light is coming from the left predominantly. And same thing with the hair. It's here is more of a wash rather than shadowing, and I'm going into the remaining color, the remains of the Dr. P.H. Martin's black. And here I'm doing the makeup, but I will need to get a little bit more of the black. Here I decided to put a little wash of pink just to set it off slightly from those figures and make them stand out a little bit more. It's a very pretty pastel pink, so although Dr. P.H. Martens are very vibrant, you can water them down to a very pale wash. And here I'm just working towards that. And yeah, so here I'm grabbing the Dr. P.H. Martens black concentrated watercolors, and I'm going to just add a little bit more of depth to her hair because it's a little bit too light at the minute. And that is it, I think. Okay, so like I said, I think I said in the beginning of the video that I did have one attempt of this before, and this was a while ago, and I actually didn't like how the I liked the concept, but I didn't like the actual girl, the illustration of the girl. She didn't come out that pretty, and I do prefer this one way over the original, so that's a good surprise for a change. And yeah, so she has a very pretty face, very delicate, and I managed to get her neck very, very kind of thin, and that's sort of how I like to illustrate it, just to make it very super unrealistic and you know, kind of closer to a fashion illustration, I'd say. And so yeah, so the figures are basically just sort of, you know, running around for whatever reason and then starting to climb over, and there is one on her shoulder and they're helping each other to climb up. Also today I tried something different in terms of her dress, adding a very diluted, same color, so this was Scarlet and Dr. P.H. Martens Radiant watercolors, and I diluted it with water quite a bit and ended up with this very pretty pastel pale pink. And just to give the dress a little bit more color, because if I was going to do what I usually do, then the figures would have blended in with the black dress, and for them to stand out a little bit more, I decided to give it a little bit more color. I'm going to set the ink now by using my heat gun, and then I'm going to go over and I think just give a little bit more detail on her ball here. So I'm going to take this, in case you wonder, this is like my super favorite, I don't think that's an expression, but my favorite fountain pen at the moment, and it's like the cheapest as well out of all of them. It's the Platinum Carbon ink. It's made by the same company as the Carbon ink, the Platinum Carbon ink, and I got mine on Amazon, and this one is extra fine, so I love it for adding little detailing where you need to go back in and create a little kind of dimension, or just yeah, just kind of creating a detail really. Okay, so I think I am done. I'm just going to do this now, and that is it. So it was super quick today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you tomorrow.